Hello, I am Julie Kennebeck, a graduate student at Morningside College and currently a high school math teacher at Iowa City West High School in Iowa City. Today I'm going to present to you my research study and findings in regards to meditation for adolescent math anxiety and academic performance. What is math anxiety and how does it relate to poor math performance? Math anxiety has been defined as the feeling of tightness and unease that leads to an interference of being able to work with and manipulate numbers and the inability to then solve mathematical problems in various life and school settings, according to Richardson and Swing. Vahidi and Farquhar defined math anxiety as a negative cognition and avoidance behavior and the pressured feeling of inadequacy in performance. These combined then interfere with solving math-related problems in both general life and academic situations. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, numerous students show limited interest in mathematics, have lower insights in their math skills, and refer to mathematics as the subject area that is difficult and produces anxiety. In this study, a pretest was administered to both the control group and the experimental group. The same post-test was then administered to both the control group and the experimental group. Why me? I chose this topic to research because, having been in the classroom for 21 years, I see more and more students struggling with anxiety. Mental health of students currently is more prominent than it ever has been, and I take that seriously. If mental health and anxiety is getting in the way of their learning, then I feel it's a responsibility of mine as a teacher to help break down those walls so that my students can become successful in the math classroom. In my literature review, I found several studies that showed that math anxiety leads to poor math performance. Buelo and Frake show that math anxiety can have a significant effect on math performance and achievement in school. Foley et al. Showed data from the Program for International Student Assessment that math anxiety is negatively related to math performance. According to Maloney, Risco, Anzar, and Fugelsang, math anxiety has a more significant negative impact on complex versus simple math problems, but it can also negatively influence simple object counting. Maloney and Bilak and Vahidi and Farquhar studied individuals with a high level of math anxiety have a tendency to avoid taking upper level, more complex mathematics classes, which can in turn affect the levels of math achievement. Justica Galliano, Martin Puga, Linares, and Pellegrina also studied how anxiety contributed to performance in mathematics. They concluded that worrying led to a reduction in working memory capability. When working memory capability decreases, math outcomes such as fluency and problem solving also decreased. Those children who are more anxious in general were more likely to generate an anxiety to math. Based on my research, I have come up with the following suggestions, and that is the use of meditation to curtail anxiety and better student math performance. Currently, it is not being done in any classes with any students. Chu found that meditation as a means to enhance an individual's emotional intelligence seems to be the most effective coping strategy for reducing stress and anxiety. And if we can reduce that stress and anxiety, then we can better our math performance. What does the impact mean on various groups? Meditation as a means to enhance an individual's emotional intelligence seems to be the most effective coping strategy for reducing stress and anxiety, as noted on the previous slide, according to Chu. Also, Crowley and Monk studied the effects of meditation for health and wellness, which emphasized practicing meditation. The purpose of the course was to teach students how meditation could be used to gain a better understanding of their mind's inner workings and the experiences they have. He studied 28 undergraduate students in a Midwestern university. During this 15-week duration, the participants met twice for 75 minutes, 3 meditations per class, along with breathing exercises. At the end of the course, the students completed a written report addressing how the meditation impacted their outlook on life and their relationships to others. The positive results from this qualitative study of practicing meditation were many, especially that of a reduction in stress, depression, and anxiety. One thing to note in the results of this study is that 96% of the participants reported an increase in psychological well-being, and 86% reported either an increase to feeling calm and peaceful or a decrease in stress levels. Potential problems with using meditation to decrease stress and anxiety levels and increase math performance. Little research has been done in regards to adolescence. Wisner, Jones, and Gwynn state this in their 2010 research study. Several research reports have included adults, but little in terms of adolescents. The potential problem with adolescents is the hypersensitivity that younger adults may have. Those that have experienced grief may feel overwhelmed during a meditation session. Those with severe psychiatric problems need to use meditation cautiously. Also, a potential problem is the differing opinions of timelines. How often should students meditate? How long should they meditate? How many days should it be done inside and outside of class? Nothing is consistent in terms of a timeline, and that could be a potential problem as well. Lastly, is how can meditation fit within the curriculum? Do we fit meditation in math class, in English class, in science class? Do we create its own class, and how can we get it to reach all the students? Who can deliver the meditation? Do we have professionals? Our school leaders look at curriculum as a whole in terms of subject area, but how do they look at how meditation can fit within that curriculum? So, based on this, a gap in the research exists in regards to specifically working with high school students in a mathematics classroom and the benefits of meditation on the anxiety levels of those particular students. This study looks to examine how meditation can affect those high school students in their math classes. The goal and objective of the study was to determine the impact on meditation on student anxiety and math performance. The hypothesis is that geometry students who receive direct meditation instruction and participate in meditation exercises will demonstrate greater math achievement compared to students not receiving the intervention. Possible impacts. The results of this study can be used to help teachers make instructional decisions about the use of meditation practices. In the education field, there is lots of work that people consider good, but this could provide evidence of a successful intervention for people to refer to. My work as a practitioner will be impacted by whether or not I continue to use meditation as an intervention and how I select interventions in the future. Here is the methodology done. The participants were high school geometry students, 2 sections of approximately 20 to 25 students in each section. Of the students in the study, 1 student had an IEP and 2 students had 504 plans. There were varying socioeconomic statuses and racial backgrounds. 47 total students were involved in the study from 2 classes of similar demographics. A parent permission letter was sent out and all students returned that with parent permission given. The materials used were the Fenema-Sherman Mathematics Anxiety Scale, the website www.myheadspace.com, which was the website for the meditation curriculum, and the academic curriculum was a unit called Similar Triangles, authored by Gina Wilson. In my procedure, both groups took part in the same pretest prior to the unit beginning. Both groups were delivered the same geometry curriculum throughout the same teaching methods. The control group had no other additional interventions. However, the experimental group participated in 3 to 5 minutes of meditation daily via the myheadspace.com website. In my data analysis, I compared pre-test and post-test scores for the unit of study. Data was analyzed at the conclusion of the 4-week intervention. An independent samples t-test was used for data analysis. The results are shown in the graph. The t-test for the pre-test showed that both groups scored statistically similar, with a p-value of 0.769, significantly higher than the 0.05. The t-test for the post-test did not show a significant difference between the two groups either, a p-value of 0.832. Continuing with the results, the control group on average scored within 1 point from the experimental group, on the pretest, and in the post-test, again, the experimental group on average scored within 1 point from the control group. So as you can see, there was not much difference between the pretest and the post-test. So what does this mean? Findings did not confirm higher scores for the experimental group compared to the control group for the unit of similar triangles. Findings suggest that the practice of meditation did not increase test scores. Therefore, the hypothesis that geometry students who receive direct meditation instruction and participate in meditation exercise will demonstrate greater math achievement compared to students not receiving the intervention was not supported. Implications of this study. A longer research time frame was needed. The researcher was only able to do 1 unit of work, as the next unit would have gone beyond the data collection time frame. The unit that we did showed that the students had pretty much no pre-knowledge of the subject area, as pre-test scores were very close to 0. So basically everyone started at ground zero. Ideally, the topic of study would have had better pre-test results. Another implication is the need for more time in class devoted to meditation. 3 to 5 minutes daily was not enough. The student and teacher impact. This research study provides evidence to teachers how meditation interventions are having a positive impact on student achievement. Students can benefit from learning this on a more basic level to understand why teachers are asking them to take part in the process. Having evidence may help older students put forth the effort if they can see it will be worth their time. Limitations, some of which included needing a longer time frame to yield additional research data. Because only geometry students were studied, I would like to include lower level and upper level math classes. The teacher background and training with the curriculum and the meditation, having used a website, would direct instruction possibly work better? Classroom interruptions were almost inevitable at the high school level, including attendance issues. Natural student growth. It can be argued that growth students experienced during the 4-week intervention could have had the mere effect on the results rather than the meditation. And the administering of assessments. Students did not take the pretest seriously and limited answering the questions. My recommendations are continued research to validate the findings of the study. Studies on the impact of meditation on students from all learning levels. The use of consistent daily meditation techniques for all levels of math classes. And teacher studies to determine if certified meditation training instructors will impact student growth. Thank you, and here are my references.